Brooklyn Nets are each pledging to donate $500,000 to organizations that, quote, eradicate hate and to work with the Anti-Defamation League to fight anti-Semitism. The announcement came last night, which is 6 days after Irving's controversial social media post about a book and a movie that feature anti-Semitic tropes. The Nets, the ADL, and Irving all released statements yesterday. Irving's statement reads, in quote, I oppose all forms of hatred and oppression and stand strong with communities that are marginalized and impacted every day. I'm aware of the negative impact of my post towards the Jewish community, and I take responsibility. I do not believe everything said in the documentary was true or reflects my morals and principles. I'm a human being learning from all walks of life, and I intend to do so with an open mind and a willingness to listen. So from my family and I, we meant no harm to any one group, race, or religion of people, and wish to only be a beacon of truth and light. The Nets have not made Kyrie Irving available to reporters since Saturday night's tense press conference that followed a Brooklyn loss. The post itself was deleted on Sunday night. All right, we'll pause on.
Hey, well, shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and blessings to all your brethren, teaching His word in all sincerity and truth. It's Brother Damal Gabar here from GMS Los Angeles with another lesson, Lord willing to edify. Hey, and as you can see, it's got Kyrie Irving basically, tucked his tail and apologized pretty much, and he's over here, basically got strong armed and bullied by the small hats to basically, cough up $500,000, man. Which, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at Kyrie. That was to be expected because, this is why you, Jake, out there need to start putting so much faith and hope in these entertainers and in these actors, to be stand-up citizens and to be prophets, man, and to be your leaders, because they're not your leaders. All right. A guy like Kyrie Irving, he's already received his consolation, pretty much, and that's why a lot of you, Jake, be getting your feelings hurt and you be having your hopes too high in these, and these celebrities, man. Look, these celebrities are not your leaders. They're not the prophets. They're not the men of the Lord. All right. But here it is. You have the elders and the apostles who've been standing strong, for years and for decades and decades with this truth. They ain't never folded. They ain't never took back their words or their stances on what the truth is. But, as soon as one of these celebrities and somebody with some status come up and mention something, truth related, you all gaga, you're all, riding their coattails. You over here acting as if, they're going to lead you to the promised land, man. When these celebrities, they're not your leaders, man. All right. They're all brought and paid for at the end of the day. They're all, have made that covenant with death, man. They're juiced into Esau's system with all these different contracts and these different contracts and these endorsements and all of this money that they're making. They're not finna risk all of that money to ride with you niggas, all right? And to ride with the average Jake. They're not they don't have that integrity. They're not men of the Lord. Matter of fact, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what these niggas like Kyrie and these different entertainers that, say something about being an Israelite would never do. This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 23. It says, by faith, Moses, and the point being by faith. That guy Kyrie don't have faith, man. None of these entertainers who know that they're Israelites have faith ultimately in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because if they did, they would stand on what they believe. They would stand on this truth. You would hear them mentioning the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. You would hear them not backing down and stating the facts on who the true people of God are. And they will call out these small hats for who they truly are, which are the biblical Edomites, which they will never do. All right, they're only going to say they're only going to stay in that safe lane because they have to protect their their image, their bank account, their contracts, their money, and their all the goodies that they have worked hard for in this world. All right, they're not going to give all that up and lose it all for the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. And the sooner you, Jake, realize that, the sooner you'll start putting all your faith in these niggas, man. Yeah, it's cool that they say certain things. Yeah, they're going to bring out some things of the truth, but they are not the prophets. They're not the men of the Lord. All right. And they'll never do this. This is Hebrews 11 and 23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season. You see? And that's faith. That's integrity. That's a man, that's something that a man of the Lord would do. And as we know, Moses was the daughter of Pharaoh, man. Moses was up there in the Egyptian, the Egyptian empire. He had influence, he had clout, he had money, he had, way more than what Kyrie had. But by his faith, man, he threw that all away to choose to suffer affliction with his people, man. This guy talking about he wants to be a beacon of light and knowledge. Well, you'll never be those things, man. That wasn't meant for you to be those things. But, this example of faith by Moses shows that he was a beacon of faith to his people. He forsook all, man, everything that he had so that he can suffer affliction with the people of the Most High, because he ultimately stood on everything that was going on. And what was happening during in Egypt? Our people was being afflicted, just like our people were being afflicted now in this modern day Egypt, man. When these entertainers have the platform and they have, the followers, to really make an impact and to really bring out this truth. But like I said, this is not their job. This is not their fight, man. They're not men of the Lord. They're not your true leaders. They're not the prophets. They're not the men of the Lord. The Lord didn't choose them to be these people. All right. They're being used for a particular purpose to bring more, to highlight the fact that we're the Israelites, and to cause controversy and to stir particular things. But that's about as far as it goes with these guys, man. And he just, and it further proves the point that, like I said, the Lord's just using these guys to further prove the point that Amalek is running everything, man. Because they really pretty much just, strong arm this nigga into making him to apologize and to basically cough up some dough, which those goddamn small hats don't need no more money, man. They're the biggest welfare state in the world. They got all the money. They don't need no more money, Like brother said, Kyrie could have gave that money to the men of the Lord, to the true prophets and the true leaders. Not that we want it or that we're expecting it, but if that was the case, that he was really trying to help, and to suffer, to help us that suffer in the affliction here in this world, he could have gave that money to the true leaders and the prophets, man. And it could have been used in a more beneficial way than giving it to them goddamn small hats, which Lord knows what they're going to do with that money, man. But the point being, it shows you that he is not a leader. He is not a man of the Lord. And he ultimately has no faith in what he believes in, man. And he's compromised. Just like all these entertainers are compromised. It's no big deal. It's just the truth. All right. It says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. So it shows you that Kyrie deems these riches and the treasures here in this modern day Egypt, Babylon the Great. He has more respect unto that, and to his name, and to his career, and to his brand, than for the names of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and to stand with his people. And that's to be expected. It's no big deal. All right, that's just not his job to do. All right. It says, esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. Right. So Moses, just like we are, hey, we're esteeming the reproach of standing on this truth and for the names of our powers and the names of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the truth, the 100% truth of who we are and who these devils are not. Greater riches to stand in faith and to believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai in all truth and sincerity, and to put our lives on the line for this word and for this truth, rather than to have multi-million-dollar deals here in Babylon the Great, man. But, again, hey, that's why it's hard for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. See, it says, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith, he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible, you see. And that's the spirit that we're in, man. And we understand it just wasn't given to these guys. They're not your leaders, man. So Jake, stop putting these niggas on a pedestal. Stop putting these entertainers as if they're saviors and as if they're really in the truth and they fully get it. They don't fully get it, man. They're only going to believe so far as to that keeps them comfortable, that keeps them, so that, keep them in a position to where they don't lose everything, man. That's what these guys are ultimately going to do. They're not prophets, man. All right, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26. It says, for you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called, you see? But the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty, you see? And that's ultimately the men of the Lord, starting with the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, man. And brethren, that's in our position. The weak things, the foolish, the people that looked at as insignificant, the men that are willing to put it all on the line and be out there on the highways and the byways and to risk it all. Those are the men that the Lord hath called. Those are the men that the Lord hath chosen. He's not going to choose LeBron James or a Kyrie or who else out there? The Rock, Dwayne Johnson or Kevin Hart or any of these rappers or any of these other entertainers, no matter what type of things they say that are true, and that are factual. The Lord didn't choose them to for this calling. Let's get this word calling. Let me see what it says. All right. This is what we were called to do. Hey, and Kyrie was called to dribble a basketball and be a basketball player, man. At the end of the day, all right. And the word is klesis. It says a call, an invitation to a feast of the divine invitation to embrace salvation of the Most High. You see? And that's what we have been called for, Lord willing. We're part of that number, man. Not these guys, all right? It says, in the base things of the world and things which are despised, right? They despise us, man. To the point to where Kyrie didn't want to be associated with us, man. That's why he said, I don't attribute to any type of hate or this or that, because he knows that ultimately going to lead him to what we're out there saying, which is what these devils are, are trying to label us as. He totally separated and separated himself from the Israelites, man. Just like when Kanye, when I deem it that small hat devil asked Kanye, "Are you embracing the religious beliefs of the Black Hebrew Israelites?" He avoided the question, man. Because they want to play it safe. They're not gonna sit there and say, "Absolutely, I learned from their ideologies and what they believe," And the factual points of the scriptures that point to us being the Israelites and you being the Edomites, man. They're not going to do those things, all right? And you have to understand that. That's not for them to do. That's not part of their calling. They wasn't invited to that divine invitation, man. You see, but you are. You see, we are, Lord willing, to the end. It says, and base things of the world and things which are despised have the Most High chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught the things that are. You see? And that's what we've been out here to do. And we're going to continue to do that all the way until the end, Lord willing. So stop getting all up in arms about these celebrities, man. Like Kyrie is doing ultimately what he's supposed to do, man. All right. And he's going to, be in that situation until the missiles drop, man. He's not going to fully repent and come into this truth and put on the garment and go out there and prophesy with the men of the Lord and put it all on the line and forsake this modern day Egypt for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So stop thinking that, man. Psalms 94:16, it says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? All right. It's not going to be these guys, man. It says, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Well, he didn't. The workers of iniquity came, and that nigga sat down and tucked his tail and opened up his checkbook, man, and totally, made a statement and basically, sat his ass back down and reneged on what he said, man. But in a safe way, staying in that safe lane so that he don't have to, what he lose? One game of pay, $500,000, which is probably going to be a tax write-off. He's probably going to get that shit back, But like I said, that's not his job, man. This is the job of the prophets, the men of the Lord. All right. And Lord willing, that's us. We're going to continue to do that all the way until we're up in those chariots, until this devil come down with great wrath, man. So some of us are going to have to be martyrs, and ultimately how we're going to defeat this devil. Let me get this in Revelations 12:12, and I'm going to close this out, man. Or is that 12 and 11? It's right. I saw that 10. Revelations 12:10. It says, I'll start here at 9. It says, and that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, which is, Esau, Edom, and the small hats is part of that, man. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Hamashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And look what happened. The accuser came to Kyrie, and what did he do? He reneged. He backed up. He said, I'm not anti-Semite. Basically, Amalek is cool. He's all right. I'm wrong. They're not, just totally just bitched up, man. And that's cool. That's what he's supposed to do, man. All right. It says, here it is, and that's what the accuser does. When we call him out on his bullshit, he flips it and then he makes you the accuser. He calls you violent. He calls you anti this, anti that. So you can't ever call him out on his bullshit and his hypocrisy. And when you do, he comes for you, especially when you have contracts and you're fully, submerged in the, in this man's system, in this society, and you got things to lose, and you got all of these different attachments to this society, man. See, but for the men of the Lord, that's what separates us from these other celebrities and these other jakes in the world, man. See, we don't have that problem. We don't have that issue. So we're free. It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they love not their lives unto the death, which obviously, these celebrities love their lives. They're living good lives, man. They got fame, they got money, they got, they can have any woman they want to on this planet. They can travel, they can do whatever they want to. They're on TV. They're constantly living in a lap of luxury. So obviously they love their lives, man. All right. And they don't have ultimately the testimony of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. But we do. That's for us to have, which is going to ultimately bring us salvation, man, and a kingdom and a deliverance. And being saved from this damn devil when all is said and done, man. And we have to keep that keep it in perspective, man, of what's really going on and who the true men of the Lord are and who are not, man. So hey, with that, Lord willing, you were edified. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit on me and do this lesson. Until the next one, Shalom.